So again, thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice.
Okay, let's let's talk about that. All right, here's the thing. Um, I think I understand what Nancy Pelosi is trying to say. I think I understand. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. Bad choice of words. Really, really bad choice of words. You should not say that. Please don't say that. Okay, now, she's a politician. She usually speaks in public. They usually should have people who advise them on what to say or what not to say. I'm not really quite sure what happened there, whether her advisors or she's just really cooking off the dome, because stuff just happens. You say stuff where we kind of know what you mean or what you're trying to say, but you just don't say it right, you know?
This was traumatic. My little granddaughter, who just turned 12, she said, "Why is it taking so long?" It didn't take that long, but we all saw it on TV. We saw it happen. And thank God the jury validated what we saw. So again, thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice, for being there to call out to your mom. How heartbreaking was that? Call out for your mom. I can't breathe. But because of you, and because of thousands, millions of people around the world who came out for justice, your name will always be synonymous.
She's kind of like saying his death is symbolic, and because of it, out of that circumstance, it made so much noise that globally everybody recognized that there is a problem, and fundamentally a justice problem that needs to be addressed, and justice needs to be served. Ultimately, we need to be dealing with these type of things. Law enforcement needs to recognize the fact that we've got a situation where police officers need to be trained better, and these things can just result in people being shot or people dying when they should have actually lived, because that's really the actual problem here. He didn't have to die, but by virtue of his death, it resulted in this being a unique situation, not unique in its nature, because a lot of people still experience this kind of issues. For Black people, it's tricky being out there because you always wonder, am I next? So, but out of this, this has happened. This has resonated all over. This has made a lot of people to question a lot of things. So you could say that there's some positivity that came out of it, though, as some have said, is it really justice when, a man's life is no more? The justice would have been him being alive in a way. So we get you, girl. We understand you. We really get you and what you're trying to say. You just didn't say what you meant to say the way you ought to say it, which happens a lot. Could use a little bit of training. So I feel like white people, we gotta get into these spaces where you really get involved and you say stuff that you ought to be talking about. But along the way, we're gonna have some hurdles. But don't worry, we got you. We're on the same boat. We got you. As long as you're on our side, we forgive you. It's forgivable. It's pardonable. But don't say that. Don't say that. We understand that. A lot of times the white people do say a lot of things that they kind of like, we know what you mean to say, but you just shouldn't say that. This is part of the process, as we go along the way. So I'm just saying, everybody, we need to be patient with people. there was something that people coin as white ignorance. Or now, there's a great quote that I actually came across, or rather a writing by a specific individual in a journal. James Baldwin put it well. And he said, "This is a crime of which I accuse my country and my countrymen, and for which neither I nor time nor history will ever forgive them, that they have destroyed and are destroying hundreds of thousands of lives and do not know it and do not want to know it," as he emphasizes, talking about ignorance of their own ignorance, white people and the ignorance of their own ignorance. Now, look, these conversations are always little, but it's a fact of reality that we need to understand. We're never going to bridge any gaps unless we kind of just call it for what it is and call a spade for a spade and just be like, yo, guys, you got to learn how to say things right, because no, it's not celebratory. We're not like celebrating his death. You know what I'm saying? It's not celebratory of his death. We're not thanking him for his death. Saying thank you for your death is not necessarily appropriate. He didn't want to die. Him being alive would have been a greater victory than the Supreme Court or any kind of verdict that has been reached in the court of law. But with that said, Elizabeth Spellman also put it in another way. One could say, as a general rule, that white misunderstanding, misinterpretation, evasion, and self-deception on matters related to race are among the most persuasive mental phenomenon of the past few hundred years, a cognitive and mental economy physically required for conquest, colonization, and enslavement. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself if I was writing it. In any case, that's all I wanted to say. Not really much. We'll bear with you, and the journey still goes on. But thanks for watching the video, guys. Do like, do leave a comment, do tell me what you think. Thanks for stopping by. Nancy Pelosi, public relations, my dear, public relations. We got your back.